Hello, everybody. I am Johanna Chesbu, and I am the Director of Vendor Management here at CAMS. Today, we have Trevor Penick with Chapman's Construction in a view that I'm very jealous of right now. Trevor, where are you right now?
I'm in Curry Beach currently at the moment.
Yeah, you can't beat that
You
aqua
cannot beat it.
blue behind you.
It's beautiful.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to introduce you. Chapman's Construction is a trusted service provider that we have in our program here. He is head of the Unlimited General Contractor's License for Chapman's Construction. He's done a great job with us on many large scale projects and actually coming to us on site from one of the projects he's currently working on. Trevor, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Yes, my name's Trevor. I'm one of the partners at Chapman's Construction, and really we kind of started small as most companies do, and we started out in the exterior category, with siding and windows and roofing, and those have kind of been our bread and butter for a few years. And a few years ago, we started getting into multifamily, and it's kind of exploded. And so now we've kind of got the point where, we're wanting to visit some of these communities, that we've done work for, and some communities that we haven't done work for. Not to try to steal your thunder or anything, but I know today's, topic we're talking about, inspections, property inspections, and the importance of having those. But
Absolutely. Yes, especially coming into hurricane season, we want to make sure that our building envelopes are sealed
absolutely.
and that our roof systems, sidings, everything that goes into protecting our buildings from natural disasters to the best that we can. I know when you're oceanside, like you currently are, you're susceptible to more of the elements, and it still goes for the same concept with more of our inland properties, that there are microbursts, tornadoes, there are hailstorms, there's all kinds of things that can happen where if our buildings have been inspected on a regular basis, we can somewhat anticipate some of the issues that may occur and prevent a lot of them if we're regular in our frequency in getting inspections done. Would you
That's
mind
correct.
talking to us a little bit about the benefits of getting inspections or what specifically you look for?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick to touch on, storm season. We just have got into hurricane season, and we follow a bunch of meteorologists, and weather patterns, to kind of see what, kind of what we're up against year to year. And this year we have what they call, I believe, is El Nino. And what the difference of that is between El Nino, I really couldn't tell you. But what I do know is most Atlantic systems, we see between 12 and 14 named storms a year. And the predictions this year is that we're going to see somewhere in the mid 20s named storms, and that could be a huge concern, especially for, communities that might not have had, regular maintenance done, or might not have had a annual inspection. And essentially what we offer is an annual inspection, and there's no cost to that. We come out, we have an autonomous drone system. We fly around all of the structures, all the buildings. We take pictures of everything. We get up on the roof, we walk the buildings, we look at the windows, we look at siding, and really these are just exterior inspections. And what we're looking for is rotten wood, or we're looking for damaged siding, or we're looking for missing shingles, or places where penetrations in the roof are not sealed properly. And really it's just to kind of give a record, if you would, of what kind of condition the community's in. And whenever we do these inspections, what we do is we take tons of pictures. We take lots of notes, and what we do is when we're finished is we write up like a report, and we give you all the pictures off the community that we took. We point out any maintenance items that we've noticed. Hey, look, this is something that needs addressing, really soon. Or hey, you got an issue here, and in the next 12 to 18 months, this is something that you're going to need to address. And really, it just gives the communities more of a playbook of, hey, look, this is what it looked like last year. This is what it looks like this year. And it just helps keep record of everything, and it gives us the option when we do find that rotten wood that, hey, look, we can get this fixed, and find out exactly how bad it is or what the issue might be and get it addressed before it's a larger, issue and causes more damage inside one of the structures.
And how often would you say our associations should be getting inspections done?
Well, if they're free and they don't cost anything, I mean, I'll at least have a freebie once a year. We do offer a semi-annual inspection where we do every 6 months. There's a small cost that is incurred with the additional inspection, but every year, I mean, there's so much that happens in a year. You have storms come in, you have just life. I mean,
Yeah.
just weather events, that might not be a named storm, and making sure that you're on top of that. Not only does it save the community cost of repair because your repairs are not going to be as large, you try to mitigate and catch them before they get bad. And it gives you a game plan of upcoming CapEx projects. Hey, look, we're going to have to put this on for the next couple of years, or, hey, we need a plan for this in 5 years, and just having a plan, the more you plan, the less money you spend, and I think better planning, and having these inspections would be a huge benefit, to some of the communities that don't have the annual inspections or are not currently enrolled with us.
And one thing that comes to mind as we talk about the inspections and the importance of it is, let's say a hurricane does come through,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates quite a bit of damage, or even a hailstorm. We've seen that just in the last week.
Yeah,
When you have a report of the pre-loss condition that shows how the siding looked before this hailstorm, that showed how the roof looked before this hailstorm, we've seen that there's a lot of insurance adjusters that they're looking for every reason to not cover a claim. And one of the ways that they do that is to say, how do we have proof that this wasn't from a storm 6 months ago or
yeah,
a year ago or 6 years ago? How do we know that? And when you have this report with a photographic evidence that shows not even five days before, or however often we do this,
that's right.
um, that you have the evidence of saying that this was in perfect condition not only a few weeks ago or a month ago, and clearly from this weather tracking data, you saw that this happened on this date, and here's our evidence. Good luck trying to, not cover us
That's the whole
now.
reason that's the whole reason we started this annual inspection. We had an issue with a multifamily community, with the insurance company. Same thing like you're saying. They said it was pre-existing, and we had no evidence to support that it wasn't
Yep.
pre-existing, But that's why we started doing these inspections because, like you're saying, having all the evidence beforehand, insurance companies. I mean, I have worked with so many different insurance companies, and they all have the same end goal: is to pay out as least amount as possible, and finish the project. The
Yep.
problem is a lot of times when you have all this evidence and you have previous years inspections, and you give that to an insurance adjuster, you go from being like banging heads together to now all of a sudden they're like, okay, this guy's legit, and they are offering us information that helps us do our jobs, and so they tend to work with us a whole lot better. With insurance, it's always a struggle. Insurance companies are very difficult to work with. It's taken us years to get a process that is a fluid process that's pretty seamless. To be able to deal with adjusters and to deal with property loss and large losses. I can't say it enough. The annual inspections, there's so many benefits, and it's crazy not to take advantage of those benefits, especially when it doesn't cost you anything.
Absolutely. It's a great way to provide peace of mind, but also showing that as a board member, you're doing your fiduciary responsibility, you're being proactive with the
Absolutely.
maintenance and exterior that would affect, especially in the condos and townhomes and multifamily units, that you do have a responsibility to maintain the exterior so that it doesn't then come into individual units, and now the individual units are at the mercy of making sure the roofs are in good shape. And things happen.
Yeah,
Things can still look and be in great condition, and then you get these microbursts, wind
that's
driven
correct.
rain that comes in, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But there are ways to still prevent some of these issues from occurring by obtaining regular property inspections.
Yeah.
So what
Look,
else would you be looking for? I know you said wood rot is a big one. We went through the
yeah.
components of, if there's
So
balconies, making sure the flashing is in good standing. Um,
my big
Wood
thing is
rot.
water intrusion. What we look for is places that water can get inside of a structure. And a lot of that is around your siding and your around your corners. Where there's typically sealant. You just want to check that. Around anything that comes out of the wall, your windows, your doors. You want to make sure that you got a good seal around those. Your roof. You want to make sure all of your plumbing penetrations. You want to make sure all your box vents. You want to look for any exposed nails. Another thing we look for is gutters. We look when we take pictures from the drone. One of the first things we look at is gutters, because a stopped up gutter or a backclogged gutter will backflow inside of a unit, inside of a structure, inside of a townhome. And you don't want to be dealing with that, especially when you got a storm coming where you got 5 or 10 inches of rain. I mean, you want to make sure your gutters are free flowing, because that's what channels all majority of your water away from your structure. So we look for that. We look at like all your deck structures. We're looking for any rotten, framing, any rotten deck boards. If the porch rails are loose, we want to make sure we notate that. Um, as, as for like
That's
as
the
for like
safety issue right there. Not
it,
even just on the maintenance aspect of it, but safety for moving throughout the unit.
that's right. And typically a property inspection it's not a super long drawn out process. We're typically on a building for 10 to 15 minutes. And our goal is to get as much information in that short time frame that we can. Because when you're putting together a report for a community, the more detail that I've got, um, the more notations of maintenance items, the more they're aware of actual condition and and the quality of materials that are on site. It's huge, because then those things can get addressed. Like we talked about, get addressed before they cause larger issues. Before
Yep.
they cause rotten inside of somebody's home or somebody's unit. Um, water intrusion is what causes more damage than anything. So
Especially if it's water that sits for a while. Because
yes,
there's ways that you can get into a unit and extract the water, dry it out, and you can be okay. But then there's, after a certain amount of time, and depending upon what type of water that's coming through,
you got to worry about mold.
you
Yes.
have to remove and demo a lot of that, just to make sure that you're safe and can continue to build within a good framework moving forward.
Yes, ma'am. So we are looking for new clients for these annual inspections. And really it's more of a service that we provide and at no cost, because most people don't know what kind of condition their community's in. And having like a play-by-play game book to be able to determine, hey, look, we've got these issues. This is not an issue, so we don't have to worry about this. It might be on our CapEx project for 2 to 3 years from now. It might not be something that has to happen 2 to 3 years from now. We might be able to push that to the 5 year mark and take care of some of the more needed items that are more important, that are leaking or rotten or damaged or have an issue. Um, and being a full envelope contractor, we handle it all, big and small. I've done the small stuff, I've done the big stuff, but really at this point, I'm more into the relationship building. I'm looking for the long-term relationships, and looking for communities that, one, need work, which most of them do, even though they might not realize. We're looking for communities that we can build that relationship with and have that long-term work, where we have these CapEx projects and they have somebody that they can trust, and find somebody that, they can believe, hey, look, this is actually what's wrong, and they don't have to follow
Yep.
behind us, you know?
And I
So
would say too, the benefit of utilizing the services of the person that did the initial inspection is that you have an intimate knowledge of that property. You know what has happened over the evolution of time and know what to look for because of
absolutely,
being the person that physically did the inspection and review and then put that to paper. You put it to a report, you added the photographs and the drone footage along with it. And so there really wouldn't be anyone more intimate with that data than the company that did that initial inspection.
that's correct. And a lot of times what we'll run into is, we'll start doing these property inspections, and whether they're on the coast or whether they're inland, in one of the Raleigh or Charlotte or Greenville markets, we'll start looking at doing these inspections. And like you were saying, like the hailstorms, you, we see those all spring, summer, fall. I mean,
Yeah,
they're the whole time you
throughout the
have a storm,
year.
they're all the time. And we were just on a property 2 weeks ago doing one of these inspections, and we noticed that a lot of the screens on the windows all had little tiny holes in them. And we spent a few more minutes and started looking and looking a little more in depth. And once we got up on the roof, you could see it. All the soft
Yeah.
metals, they were all dinged up. And so I start looking. I'm like, well, I wonder when the hailstorm was. So we get on one of the meteorologist
Yep.
data and we start looking and realize there was a hailstorm 6 weeks ago. So we start looking into it, looking into it, and sure enough, it was a qualifying storm. So we
Wow.
helped the community file a claim. We just got their approval, and they're going to replace all the gutters, all the roofing, all the screens, and that's a huge weight off of the community, because typically roofs and exterior products, they're on a rotation, and
Yep.
taking that off the capex list is a great way to save money, and it just
The
happened to
big
be that
win. That's
it
for
was a
sure.
big win. It was a big win. The community was super, super happy. But yeah, I mean, the annual inspection is a bare minimum. I mean, it really is, because it benefits the client more than it benefits us. Um, but it allows us to better help the client.
Yep.
So we would
Keeping
love,
everybody the most informed for sure.
absolutely,
So if
we would love to
someone
do
wanted
that.
to get an inspection done with Chapman's Construction,
Yep.
how would they get in touch with you?
They can reach us. They can go to our website and fill out an inquiry there. They can shoot us an email. Or I think all of my contact info is at everybody's fingertips on the TSP um, site. So you should be able to pull us
Yep.
up, and I believe we're in all locations. We are here to help however we best can help. So we look forward to working with anybody. Um, just reach out to us and we can get you on the schedule.
Yeah, we'll be sure to include your contact information in the notes of this video.
Awesome.
And we really appreciate you taking the time to connect with us today so we can learn a little bit more about inspections, property inspections, why it's beneficial, and how often we should do them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
you having
much.
me.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All
Have a
right.
great
We'll see
day.
you.